Wizzie, good morning. Thanks for joining me.
Good morning.
So tell us about these caterpillars. What do you know about them? Are they common to this area?
They're salt marsh caterpillars. Yes, they are common to this area, and they do not sting. Some people may have a irritation or a rash that kind of affects them, and they do turn into a moth. So we will start seeing them pupate, which they're going to do that in leaf litter or in a grassy type area.
Okay.
And then they'll emerge out as moths to start things over again.
So I know that I've been seeing a lot more of them recently compared to what I can remember in the past. So does that mean we're going to see more moths soon?
Probably, but that also means that we have lots of food for things like birds and lizards, so that's a good thing.
There they are on the screen right now. I mean, we've been showing a video of other insects, but they're the black fuzzy one. And are they poisonous to any kind of plants or anything like that?
No, they'll eat plants, but they're not going to cause any issues for the plants as far as poisoning. The hairs are there essentially to deter them from being eaten by other animals.
Yeah. Do you think people are confusing them with asps? And is that common this time of year?
Yes, I think people are confusing them with asps, which is a good thing because you don't want to touch those. Those do sting. But you can find asps at this time of the year now through fall, and they look different. They're usually a teardrop shape.
What should people do if they come encounter with something that is poisonous or painful like an asp? Do you have any recommendations?
Well, anytime that you have something that can bite or sting, you make sure that you don't touch it. And if you're unsure, don't touch it. If you're going to pick something up, try to wear gloves. And then if you do have a reaction to something, you need to seek medical attention.
Yeah, could you tell my little boys that? Because they want to pick up every insect that we come across. I feel bad for the insects in our area. They don't stand a chance when they're around.
You have budding entomologists.
Yeah, that would be great. What other kinds of animals and insects will we see popping up this time of year?
Definitely mosquitoes. If you haven't recognized that they're out, they're here. They're never going to go away. We also have red imported fire ants. Those ones are going to be pretty common. We tend to see the mounds pop up more so after we have heavy rainfall events. Same with mosquitoes because they're going to be having 3 of their life stages in standing water. Yeah. Then we're also going to have on plants things like aphids, and then that leads to things like ladybugs, which will eat the aphids. So some of the insects we have are going to be feeding on the other insects, and so they're actually going to be great to have around.
Yeah, well, I love ladybugs, so that sounds great. I have been noticing a lot of slugs and snails lately, but those can be bad for our plants, right?
Right. They actually will eat the plants. They're not insects. They're a type of mollusk, but they will also eat plants. And there is barriers that you can use. You can hand pick them off of the plants. And then there is also snail and slug bait that you can buy. But make sure if you are doing that, read your label and get something that is safe to use around pets.
Yeah, that's what I was going to ask you too, if you even recommended the bait, because then you can be putting something in your yard that you probably don't want your pets, your kids to be handling.
It really depends on which one you're getting. There is snail and slug bait that can be really hard on pets, but there is some that you can use around pets. And anytime that you're using any type of a pesticidal product, you know, kids and animals inside while you're applying it, and then once it's dry, they can return to the area.
All right, very good. Just one more question, because I'm not sure I asked it exactly like this. We talked about what to do if you come encounter with an asp, but what if you come encounter with anything that is dangerous? Is there someone you should report that to or call?
It really depends on what it is. If they're bee swarms, that's kind of a natural phenomena. So we just kind of recommend that people let those go. But if you have a honeybee colony or a yellow jacket nest or something like that, I would recommend that you contact a pest management professional.
Yeah, wasp too. That's pretty common this time of year.
Right.
All right, Wizzie, thank you so much for joining us this morning. We appreciate your time.